Man, oh man, what a roller coaster week this has been for the Raiders. Our rookie, Ashton Jeanty, is already feeling the grind of the league, while whispers of a shocking trade involving a player on our own offensive line are heating up. And if that wasn't enough, a huge free agent name is reportedly circling our secondary. But right in the middle of all this chaos, there's an urgent red flag that could completely change the course of our entire season. Before we dive deep into every single detail of this breakdown, let me hit you with a quick favor. Smash that subscribe button. It's free, it costs you absolutely nothing, and it's the best way to support this fan-driven coverage. Drop a like too, because that's how YouTube spreads this talk to more of the Raider Nation out there. And please jump into the comments, because this space belongs to all of us in the nation. I'm going to start with something that's really been grinding my gears, and I know it's keeping a lot of fans up at night early this season. Rookie Ashton Jeanty is shouldering a load that's not entirely his to carry. The kid came in with so much hype. Everyone in the Raider Nation was dreaming of explosive runs, but look at the stat line: 47 carries, 144 yards, and 1 touchdown. Seems light? It does, but hold on. The problem isn't just the kid. Maurice Jones-Drew dropped a gem in an interview, saying the real beef is how the offense is structured. When your tight end, Brock Bowers in this case, is your main receiving threat, defenses read that like an open book. The result? They stack the box. Nobody fears our wide receivers, so the game plan is simple. Stop Jeanty at all costs, and honestly, sometimes it just feels like a cheap shot. To be real with you, it's not that Jeanty forgot how to run. The guy already has 145 yards after contact. Read that again. More than his total rushing yards. That tells you the kid is only advancing the ball because he's breaking tackles on his own, because the offensive line is creating zero space. Against the Commanders, for example, he was touched at or behind the line of scrimmage on 11 of his 17 attempts. That's not elite NFL play, that's abandonment. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, Trey Tucker shined with 3 TDs, and that should open things up for the others. Okay, it helps, but it still doesn't fix the root of the problem. Without a true impact wide receiver, defenses will keep stacking the box against the run, and we're going to keep watching Jeanty rely on pure improvisation. The real concern is the risk of burning out the kid's season. We've seen this happen in Vegas before. High-talent rookies coming into the league with all the hope in the world, only to be stalled because the structure isn't there to support them. Commitment to excellence can't just be a slogan, it has to be put into practice. And right now, putting it into practice means giving the kid the resources to succeed. You're only going to get this straight-up fans take right here. Jeanty isn't a flop, he's a survivor. The blame is collective, and the fans are seeing it. There's a real sense of indignation here, because we know this offense could be so much more productive. Sound off in the comments if you agree. Is the problem Jeanty or the system around him? To me, it's clear as day, and hold on tight, because the next story involves a potentially massive roster move. And as if the offensive drama wasn't enough, now we've got this talk about trading Jackson Powers-Johnson. Seriously, that's the kind of chatter that puts a major bee in the bonnet of every single person in the Raider Nation. The guy was a second-round pick in 2024. He proved himself, he earned some respect, and suddenly there's doubt about whether he's worth keeping? Super weird. The simple argument being tossed around is that Pete Carroll and John Spytek didn't draft him, so there's no loyalty. Fair enough, I get it. Every new regime wants its own guys. But come on, JPJ is not a bust. He won the Remington Trophy in 2023. He started 14 games as a rookie. That's not insignificant. To be honest with you, messing with him now feels like shooting ourselves in the foot. Theoretically, he was supposed to be our center, but the Raiders moved him to guard. He played week 1, then got a concussion and missed week 2. Okay, that's football. The problem was week 3. He was cleared and healthy, but they chose to put Alex Kappa in there instead. And what happened? Kappa gave up 7 pressures, played like a sieve, and got a pitiful 24.5 pass blocking grade. That's borderline criminal, seriously. Now, you've got reporters talking about trading JPJ for a 3rd-round pick. Maybe we could, but I have to ask, what's the logic? The entire offensive line is currently ranked as the 29th worst in the NFL. Colton Miller is the only guy playing at a consistent level. The rest of them look like they've forgotten how to block. And your answer is to consider ditching a young player with high upside who can still develop? It makes 0 sense. The fans are calling this out too. The question is, are we going to invest in the future or keep slapping bandages on with veterans who don't deliver? Carroll did say JPJ's absence was more about continuity because it was a short week. But if it happens again this week, then it's crystal clear they're giving up on the kid. And here's the kicker. When you see the whole offense stumbling, the OL becoming a national punchline, and Geno Smith getting hammered on every single play, the answer cannot be to discard young talent. Commitment to excellence means giving guys who can evolve and help the team long-term a fair shot. The rest is just empty rhetoric. You're only getting this raw take right here. If JPJ becomes trade bait, the Raiders are digging themselves an even deeper hole. And trust me, the Raider Nation will not swallow this one easily. Comment below, would you be willing to trade JPJ for a pick? I wouldn't. But hold on, because the next story could change the tune of the entire defense in a way few people expected. Look who's been seen circling the desert, Justin Simmons. Just saying the name sends a shiver down the spine of many a fan, because the guy has been one of the most consistent safeties of the last decade. He spent years tormenting offenses for the Broncos, then proved his worth in Atlanta, and now he's a free agent, and guess what? The Raider Nation is starting to dream. To be frank with you, his arrival would be a perfect fit. Our secondary is in rebuild mode, trying to find its identity in Pete Carroll's scheme. We have young talent, but we lack a true field general. Simmons, at 31, still has the instincts, the ball hawking ability, and the capacity to play both deep and come up in run support. That stuff can't be taught in one off season. That's the mileage of a guy who's been in countless battles. The impact wouldn't just be technical. This guy can be a mentor. He can be the veteran voice that holds the group together when things get tight. And let's be honest, after losing key starters in the last free agency, our defense needs a shot of credibility. The Raider Nation demands intensity, but we also demand stability. Simmons would deliver both. And the best part? It's not an impossible dream. The market values him at just under $6 million annually, and the Raiders have $8.6 million in cap space. We could structure a short-term deal with incentives without crippling the team's financial health. In other words, this is the type of opportunity that if you don't seize it, some other team will. And you know what happens then, friend? The Chiefs or Chargers would be laughing all the way to the bank, and the mere thought of that just makes you mad. The question is whether the front office is actually willing to take this step. Carroll always talks about collective culture and internal competition. Simmons fits that description perfectly, in addition to bringing high-level experience to the younger guys. It's not just about intercepting the ball, it's about building the philosophy of commitment to excellence on and off the field. You're only going to get this stadium seat view right here. Simmons would be the bridge between the present and the future. He can lead, he can raise the bar, and he can show them how to compete at a high level every Sunday. And listen, the fans calling for this reinforcement know this fit makes absolute sense. Now I want to hear from you. Comment below, would you bring Simmons in or not? I'll say it right now. If there's a chance, they have to go for it. But hold on tight, because the last piece of news is a heavy one. It's about something that, if not fixed immediately, could jeopardize the entire season. You know that feeling when the boat starts rocking way too hard? Well, that's exactly where the Raiders are right now. After beating the Patriots on the road, it looked like the team was finding its stride. But 2 straight losses, injuries to key players, and an O-line that's more like a revolving door have completely flipped everything upside down. The Raider Nation is restless. Eric Edholm of NFL.com gave us the real talk. He slotted us at 26th in the league. That's after dropping 2 spots from last week. 2 consecutive losses, and that familiar ghost of last year when we collected a string of soul-crushing defeats is starting to haunt us. And the simple truth is this: if the offensive line doesn't get its act together, nothing else will work. To be honest with you, it's painful to watch Geno Smith get hunted down on every snap. The guy barely has time to breathe. Ashton Jeanty, no holes to run through. Brock Bowers, playing through immense difficulty. The offense is stalled, predictable, and the defense just gave up 41 points to a team led by a backup QB. This is a flashing, screaming red alert. And the most frustrating part is that this O-line unit was the one with the most continuity on the roster. It was supposed to be a strength. It has become a glaring weakness. Without protection, without blocking, no playbook can save you. Commitment to excellence doesn't mesh with an O-line getting its teeth kicked in on every play. The solution might actually be in-house, Jackson Powers Johnson. He missed 2 games, but even with rookie flaws, he's a better option than Kappa right now. Without him, the whole unit has plummeted. The reality is that the Raiders cannot afford to wait any longer. If JPJ is cleared, he needs to be on the field yesterday. The entire season could depend on it. You're only getting this direct take right here. The team isn't dead yet, but they need to react now. There's still a chance to get back to 500. There's still time to turn the ship around. But if the O-line doesn't click, not even Pete Carroll with all his philosophy will be able to hold back the tide. The Raider Nation knows it, feels it, and demands action. Comment below if you think the line can turn things around, because listen, this could be the key between dreaming of the playoffs or enduring another nightmare. And hold tight, because in the next bit, I'm going to wrap up today's breakdown by connecting all the dots. And the truth is one thing: it's time to shake up the Raiders' pride. Look at the size of the roller coaster we've been on today. Jeanty trying to survive on his own, the potential JPJ departure shaking our confidence, the name Simmons reigniting hope for the defense, and the offensive line at the dead center of it all with the power to either save or sink the season. The harsh truth is, the Raiders need a reaction, and they need it now. Just win, baby, isn't just a poster phrase, it's a way of life. So get down in the comments. This space is for everyone who lives and breathes the Raider Nation. And remember, just when we think we've seen it all, the Raiders always find a way to surprise us.